Chapter 5197. Usually, when Master Ching said such shameless words, Sister Hong would ignore him. She continued to do her own things until Master Ching stretched and walked to her side. He leaned against her and complained, "Are you done yet? Do you really think this is a serious job?" Sister Hong didn't even raise her head. "Then tell me, what is a serious job? What is it?" Master Ching said shamelessly, "Of course it's to accompany me. What else?" He stuck close to Sister Hong proudly. He didn't feel it before, but now that he looked at this woman, he felt that she was quite beautiful. She was really beautiful, and her whole body was glowing. Master Ching thought about it and felt even more proud. This was all thanks to him, like a magic trick. Master Ching was proud of himself, but at the same time, he became a little unruly and started to touch her. Sister Hong finally raised her eyes and was willing to pay attention to him. "If you continue to do this, I will consider throwing you out." Master Ching sighed. "Don't. I'm just playing with you, playing with you." Sister Hong continued to do her things. This went on for 2 hours. Master Ching was very bored, but he really took out 12% of his patience to accompany her. This was something that Master Ching would never have thought about in the past. He felt that Sister Hong should be satisfied. He, Master Ching, was handsome, rich, healthy, and considerate to women. Where else could she find such a man? The kind of man that she, Lu Hong, would laugh in her dreams. After Sister Hong finished her work, she looked up at Master Ching. Master Chang's face was full of praise. That look made people feel angry, funny, and a little cute. Thus, she packed up her things and asked softly, "Where are we going to eat?" Master Ching said the name of a big restaurant without thinking. It was quite expensive there, but Master Ching didn't lack money. What he wanted was grandeur, and what he wanted was to make his woman happy. Sister Hong didn't say anything. She took her coat and walked out with Master Ching. Master Ching walked behind like a follower, and the way he worked without complaint shocked everyone. Master Ching didn't feel ashamed and felt especially honored. However, Sister Hong felt that he was embarrassing and dragged him away. As soon as he left, the news agency was immediately filled with discussions. "Gosh, is that Master Ching? He's like a loyal dog. He's even more obedient when he's following Sister Hong. Yes, he seems to be a little afraid of Sister Hong." When Sister Hong's face turned serious, he stopped talking. "Previously, I thought he was just messing around. Who knew that he would really stay for a few hours? Could it be that Sister Hong is his true love? Now that I look at her, I feel that she is so beautiful." Someone nodded. "It's entirely possible. I think they might get married." "You really know how to talk. If you know how to talk, talk more." Downstairs, Sister Hong got into Master Chang's car. Master Ching personally closed the door for her while he sat in the car. "Are we on a date?" Sister Hong smiled. "If you say so." Master Ching, on the other hand, was not very willing. "Look at you. You don't even smile. Is it embarrassing to go on a date with me? Or do you actually like to eat with pretty boys or dead fatties? Last time I saw you with fatties, you were quite happy." Sister Hong took a cigarette and lit it. "If you continue, I'll get out." Master Ching immediately put out the cigarette in her hand. "Women, why do you smoke?" Then he said, "Can't I stop talking?" Chapter 5198. He was actually jealous. There would always be some men who cared about a woman's ex. Thinking of this, Master Ching suggested, "Why don't we just give Zhang Fucai a few million and let him go home? He can go wherever he wants, so he doesn't have to hang around in front of me all the time." Sister Hong lit another cigarette and gently smoked it. He's an old employee of the newspaper company. Without him, we can't hang around here. Don't have any ideas about him. He and I are just friends. Master Ching drove the car and shouted unwillingly, "What about me? I'm your adulterer, right?" Sister Hong smiled and raised her head slightly. "What else can I do, Ching Zheng? Don't tell me you want to be with me forever." Master Ching was stumped by her. He didn't say anything for a long time. After a long time, he said in a muffled voice, "Actually, I didn't say anything. If you want to keep it, then keep it. Anyway, it's a damn fatty. I don't believe you can eat it." Sister Hong frowned. "Ching Zheng, don't be so mean. You keep calling him fatty. Isn't he fat?" Master Ching said and laughed. He asked a little lewdly, "My figure is good, right? I've trained before. My whole body is muscular." Sister Hong couldn't stand it anymore. "Su Jian is infatuated with you." Master Ching touched his head. "You're right. But I haven't seen that little slut for a long time." Sister Hong said unhurriedly, "After dinner, go back and see your babies." Master Ching suddenly felt his hair stand up. He smiled dryly. "How can I? I've long forgotten about them. They can't be compared to you." Sister Hong just smiled. He thought she was a fool. He kept a big villa to raise a bunch of women, and he still talked about loyalty with her. Actually, she knew that Master Ching went back 2 days ago. She didn't know if anything happened between him and his babies. In fact, she didn't care too much. If he didn't say anything, she would pretend she didn't know. It wasn't like they would be together forever. At the mention of women, Master Ching actually felt a little guilty and didn't say anything. When it was time to eat, Grandpa Ching lit a cigar and puffed out a ring of smoke. Then, he said unhappily, "I went back to the villa to do something, not to look for women. Documents? Do you think I just sit around and collect money all day long? I have to work too. I went back to get the documents. I swear I didn't touch a single hair on those women." Sister Hong didn't say anything and just poured a cup of tea for him. Master Ching immediately beamed with joy. "You're quite smart. A big reporter is indeed a big reporter. You've seen the world." Sister Hong smiled. "Is that so?" She did not ask any further, and Master Ching felt relieved. Sister Hong was quite magnanimous. This was good too. He admired magnanimous women. Master Ching got along well with Sister Hong. He was not rough with her and was a very affectionate person. Just like how he often praised himself, he was indeed not bad. Sister Hong also felt that there was nothing wrong with it. The two of them ate quietly. Suddenly, Master Ching asked softly, "How old are you?" Sister Hong was stunned. "Why are you asking this?" Master Ching said gruffly, "I'm just asking you. I'm not going to marry you." Sister Hong said that she was 35. Master Chang's eyes widened. After a long time, he said unhappily, "You're older than me by 3 years. It's not like we're getting married. Why do you care so much? If you don't want to go back, then scram back to your big villa." Sister Hong wasn't very polite to him. Master Ching was a little hurt. "Woman, other women can't wait to suck up to me. Look at you, you don't even have a single good word to say." Chapter 5199. Sister Hong didn't say anything and took out another cigarette. Master Ching reached out and pinched it for her. "Didn't I say that I'm not allowed to smoke?" Sister Hong glanced at him and smiled faintly. "Why do you care?" Master Ching was a little angry. "No, I'm talking about you. I'm doing this for your own good. Why are you so unreasonable? What if I told you not to smoke cigars? Sister Hong glanced at him and said as she took a puff of the cigarette. Master Ching rubbed his head and felt uncomfortable. After a while, he suddenly smiled and came over. You care about me? Sister Hong couldn't stand him anymore. Who cares about you? There are many women who care about you. Master Ching was quite proud. You're jealous again. Don't just be jealous. Eat the food. He was very attentive, but Sister Hong was full. She shook her head and said, I'm full. Master Ching specially went to check on her. When he found that she was really full, he was a little proud. He swiped his card and paid the bill. When he left, he received a call saying that something had happened at the club. It was a big deal and Master Ching had to deal with it personally. Master Ching sat in the $10 million sports car and frowned. I'm on a date. What's the big deal? The other side said something again. Master Ching nodded calmly. Calm the situation down. I'll be there soon. If you can't, I'll skin you alive. The other side nodded like a lackey. Master Ching, hurry up. Master Ching hung up and put on a relaxed face. I'll send you back first. Sister Hong sat in the car and played with her nails. Don't you have something to do? Won't it be a waste of time if you send me back? Master Ching was helpless. That kind of situation won't be good. You're a woman, so don't go. What haven't I seen? Sister Hong moved closer to him. It was rare for her to be so close to him. Besides, I haven't been to your club. This is the biggest one, right? Master Ching was happy when he heard that. He reached out and pinched her cheek. Okay, I'll let you go and broaden your horizons. Master Ching stepped on the accelerator and drove towards the clubhouse. The scene was a little big, and there was no one outside for a few hundred meters. Some strange noises came from inside the club. Master Ching stopped the car, rolled down the window, and called over a dozen people to protect his woman. He straightened his clothes and got out of the car. He didn't look like he was going to risk his life. He looked like he was going to pick up a girl. Sister Hong called out to him in the car, Ching Zheng. Master Ching turned his head and said gruffly, Don't get out of the car. If you don't listen to me, I'll teach you a lesson tonight. Sister Hong's voice was calm. Be careful. In an instant, the old man's eyes turned red. He felt that he was being too unsightly in front of his subordinates, so he snorted softly, Don't give me that. I won't fall for it. Get back to the car. How can I do anything if I'm upset? After saying that, he strode into the clubhouse. As he said, the scene was a little big, but no matter how big it was, Master Ching could handle it, even though he was a little injured. He was fine, but when he came out, his arms were stained with blood. It settled. That bastard admitted defeat. Master Ching grinned. He leaned against the car and took a puff of a big cigar. He winked at Sister Hong. The blood on his arms was still dripping down. It was a frightening sight. The Master Ching that Sister Hong knew had always been a spendthrift Master Ching. However, what she saw tonight was the true portrayal of him. He licked blood on the edge of a knife, and getting injured was a common thing. Chapter 5200. She also realized that there were old scars all over his body, but he just didn't seem to care. Sister Hong thought about it and for some reason, she got angry and got out of the car with a cold expression. She got out of the car and walked over to Master Ching. Master Ching was still smiling. Did you miss me so much after not seeing me for a while? Smack, smack. Sister Hong slapped him twice. Master Ching was dumbfounded from the beating. No, what's wrong with you, woman? Master Ching roared and wanted to slap her back. But seeing the expression on Sister Hong's face and his subordinates watching, he knew that if he slapped her, she would probably ignore him again. Forget it, he wasn't afraid, he just wanted to give in to a woman. Didn't he say that a man should be extremely tolerant towards a woman? Let's just treat it as Master Ching showing his kindness today. Hence, under the eyes of his subordinates, Master Ching not only didn't hit her, he even smiled. Hitting is a sign of affection, scolding is a sign of love. I know you feel sorry for me. Sister Hong swore. Feel sorry for your mother. Master Ching frowned. She's already underground. Sister Hong's eyes were still red as she stared at him. After a long time, she said, Ching, you are a jerk. Fine, I am a jerk. Didn't you also hit a jerk to vent your anger? What else is there to be dissatisfied about, huh? Master Ching said with a good temper. He pulled Sister Hong into the car. Go back and bandage my wound. If you continue to mess around like this, your man might bleed to death. Sister Hong's eyes turned red and she didn't say a word. Master Ching got into the car. His arm wasn't bleeding, but he didn't think much of it. Sister Hong got even angrier. This man, Master Ching, came over. A man looks more manly when he's injured. Smell it, don't you think I smell manly? The subordinates in the car couldn't take it anymore. Their boss was too coquettish. At this moment, Sister Hong was pressed into his arms and smelled his manly scent. Sister Hong only smelled blood and then, she wanted to vomit. Master Chang's face darkened. The subordinates were stunned. It turned out that their Master Ching was the one being despised. Looking at Master Chang's expression, would this be his future sister-in-law? While his subordinates were lost in their thoughts, Master Ching was angry at first, but then he grinned. He reached out and touched Sister Hong. Are you pregnant? As soon as he finished speaking, he realized that he had said the wrong thing. Sister Hong could no longer give birth. No matter how capable he was, he couldn't make her pregnant. Master Chang's lofty sentiments disappeared in an instant. In the end, he could only sigh and say nothing. The atmosphere was a little confusing. His subordinates were confused. Why was he unhappy again? Sister Hong didn't seem to mind. Why aren't you talking? Weren't you very capable just now? Master Chang was feeling upset. Then, he cursed, what am I capable of? What's the use of me being capable? Sister Hong understood the moment she heard that, so she didn't say anything else. They were officially in a cold war. When they returned to the villa, Dr. Gao came to treat Master Chang's wound. Master Ching took off his shirt, revealing his strong muscles. He didn't mind and didn't use any anesthetic. He just let Dr. Gao treat his wound while he stared at the woman at the bar counter with bloodshot eyes. His snow-white teeth were grinding. Great, she was really heartless. He was so seriously injured and she still had the mood to drink. That expression made him want to kill her. Chapter 5201. 1 second to remember. Dr. Gao looked at him and smiled. An injured person should not get angry. Also, don't drink or smoke. This injury will take at least half a month to recover. Master Chang's gaze fell on the bandage, and he did not seem to care. Then he looked at Sister Hong, and his eyes looked like they were on fire. Dr. Gao coughed. You need to pay attention to other aspects as well. Master Ching was unhappy. He grumbled loudly so that Sister Hong could hear him. You need to pay attention to this and that. Are you trying to kill me? Dr. Gao suppressed his laughter and decided not to interfere with their business. He packed his things and said, then I'll come back tomorrow to change the bandage. Master Ching, don't drink alcohol. I know. You're so annoying. Get lost. Master Ching had always been rude. Dr. Gao suppressed his laughter and said meaningfully, "Be careful of the wound." Master Ching scolded him again until he left. Only then did he feel a little more at peace. He wanted to drink, but Dr. Gao's words made sense. He walked over and kicked Sister Hong's chair. "Hey, I can't drink." "You're doing this on purpose, aren't you?" Sister Hong looked at him faintly and ignored him. She stopped drinking and started smoking instead. Master Ching was very angry. He glared at her fiercely. "I say, can't you, a woman, stop for a moment?" He sat beside her and smoked her cigarette. "Don't smoke in front of me again." Sister Hong ignored him and took out another cigarette. Master Ching was so angry that he wanted to hit her. "You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Lu Hong, do you think I can't deal with you? Why don't you try? If you smoke again, I'll cut you." This time, Sister Hong was willing to talk to him. She said softly, "Can't I smoke a few cigarettes if I'm feeling uncomfortable?" All of a sudden, Master Ching was like a deflated balloon. He said gloomily, "What's wrong with you? I've raised you to the same level as the Empress. If you're still uncomfortable, how do you expect other women to live?" Sister Hong didn't say anything and flipped her hair. Master Cheng's voice was gloomy again. "Didn't I just say something wrong? Why do you have to treat me so coldly? No woman dares to treat me like this." As she spoke, she hugged Sister Hong's waist and rested her chin on her shoulder. Acting coquettishly, praising, all sorts of bottomless things. The group of subordinates were all stunned. They simply couldn't open their eyes to look at him. Was this still their awe-inspiring Master Ching? His gentleness had directly softened their bones. Master Ching chased them away, and then he acted coquettishly and complimented her before he finally managed to coax Sister Hong. After that, he had long forgotten all about Dr. Gao's rules. It was fine even if he did not smoke or drink, but he still had to be happy for a while. He, Master Ching, had waited for a while, so how could he be disappointed? After today's torment, Master Ching felt that he and Sister Hong had become even more affectionate. However, he did not expect Sister Hong to give him such a huge surprise the next day. The next morning, Sister Hong got up and prepared to go to work. Master Ching pulled her back and said in a rough voice, "Don't you have enough money to spend? What kind of work do you want to go to?" Sister Hong bit her lower lip. "You're so annoying. Be careful of the injury on your hand." Master Ching didn't care. "This small injury is nothing." Then, he gritted his teeth. "I say, you're really a woman. Can't you just stay at home and accompany me?" He punished her unhappily and followed her all the way to the bathroom, looking like he was unwilling to let go of her. Chapter 5202. Updated quickly, Sister Hong couldn't do anything about this huge baby. In the end, she comforted him a few times before leaving for the news agency. When he arrived, he wrote an article that directly pointed out what happened last night. Although it was a little vague, it was first-hand information. Other people didn't know the reason behind it, so they wouldn't dare to insinuate that Master Ching was involved in it. In the afternoon, the newspaper was published. Master Ching was originally in a good mood in the villa. However, when his underling brought him a copy of the newspaper, he couldn't smile anymore. He threw the newspaper on the floor with a cold expression. His subordinate went to pick it up, but Godfather Ching gave him a kick. "This woman, why is she so black-hearted? Am I not good enough to her? I've given my all to raise her into an empress. How is she going to repay me?" Master Ching was furious. This was how this woman repaid him. She was happy that he was written as a supervillain. Did she feel wronged by being by his side? That's right, a big reporter had given herself to a man like this. She felt wronged. Ah. Just like that, the great reporter Lu moved his pen and it was sold out in an instant. Master Ching sneered and took the clothes. His underling asked carefully, Master Ching, where are you going? Master Ching sneered again. Home. Master Ching left. Other than the old nanny, he brought all his underlings with him. He even put on a show of packing up his luggage, rolled up his bedding, and acted as if he was going to leave. In the car, Master Ching was still angry. This woman didn't even give him a call. Did she really think that he was dead? She probably didn't care at all. In her heart, he was just a boorish man. Even a damn fatty couldn't compare to him. To think that he had settled the matter so quickly yesterday. He was even tricked by her because he was worried that she was outside. Bastard, he wasn't going to serve her anymore. Master Ching was extremely angry and wanted to go back to the villa. The underling reminded him with a trembling voice, Master, if sister-in-law finds out about this, it will be terrible. Sister-in-law my ass. She doesn't care about me at all. Master Ching was furious. He said uncomfortably, if she cared about me at all, would she treat me like this? Hands drooping head. Master Ching was excited. This woman has a heart of stone. If I was in her heart, she wouldn't have done this. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. He simply wanted to catch that woman and kill her to appease his anger. Master Ching said gruffly, drive. The underling didn't dare to make another sound. Master Cheng's car drove to the big villa he used to live in. It was no exaggeration to say that the women here missed him to death. They were afraid that he wouldn't want them anymore, especially Su Jian, who waited for Master Ching to return every day. She hated that old woman, Sister Hong, to death. Once Master Ching came back, the women here acted like they were celebrating the new year. Master Ching sat on the leather sofa and enjoyed the service of the women. He was extremely happy and felt that this was life. What was he plotting? Was he plotting for that woman to not give him a good look every day? He lusted after her. Just like that, he would grab a handful of her with his eyes closed. Master Ching closed his eyes and didn't want to think about that woman. However, that bastard's face kept floating in his mind. Even the perfume on those women made him impatient. Go to the side. I'm annoyed. Su Jian knew what he was thinking. Looking at his unhappy face, he must have quarreled with that woman. That was why he came back. He even brought his luggage. Chapter 5203. Hence, she acted coquettishly and complimented him. After saying all the good things, Master Ching pinched her cheeks. You're the sensible one. But no matter what, Master Ching was staying in a room by himself. He seemed to have the intention of cultivating his character. This was simply shocking. When Master Ching announced this decision, all the women were stunned. Was this still Master Ching? Master Ching coughed lightly. I'm injured, so it's decided. Are you all ignorant? If you don't know anything, get out of here immediately. I think it's a waste of rice to feed you all. No one dared to speak. They felt wronged. Master Ching had not returned for more than 10 days. Su Jian gritted her teeth. Did Master Ching fall in love with that woman? How much did he love her? A man like Master Ching was actually playing the game of keeping his chastity. He was putting on a show for that woman to coax him. She wanted to see how that woman was going to coax Master Ching. At this moment, didn't a phone call come? When Master Ching picked up the phone, his face was full of impatience. Reporter Lu, you're so busy every day. How can you still think of me and call me? I'm telling you, I don't have time. When Sister Hong came back from work, the servants at home told her that Sir had left with his luggage. He even brought his subordinates with him. It was as if he was not going to come back. He even lost his temper. It was so scary. Sister Hong's call was met with Master Chang's sarcasm. Hence, she asked him indifferently, "Are you at the place you used to live?" Master Ching smelled the perfume and looked at the women around him. He actually felt a little guilty. But he was Master Ching. What was he afraid of? Wasn't it just a woman? He was right here. What could she do to him? Master Ching chuckled. "Yes, I'm back. There are many beauties around me. Reporter, are you jealous?" Sister Hong's voice became softer. "Qingzheng, are you sure you want to do this? We've agreed on this before." "Agreed, my ass. I've dug my heart out for you. How are you treating me?" Master Ching scolded. Sister Hong was silent for a moment. Then, she said softly, "All right, I understand." The moment her voice became soft, Master Ching felt a little proud in his heart. This woman was going to give in, wasn't she going to coax him? But the next second, he couldn't smile anymore. Sister Hong had hung up the phone. Godfather Ching stared at the phone for a few seconds before smashing it into pieces. This woman really can't be spoiled. She wants to go to the heavens. She treated me so badly and yet she still hung up on me. He paced back and forth, wishing he could grab a woman and let her see if he, Master Ching, was a coward and if he dared to do anything to another woman. But thinking was just thinking. Master Ching still didn't dare to. Yes, he was a coward. After a while, he put his hands on his waist and said, "Go and find out what that woman is doing. Fuck, if she doesn't get spanked for 3 days, her skin will itch. I'm willing to let her have her way. Her menopause is coming." His subordinates were overjoyed, and the women were so jealous that they were unrecognizable. After a while, the subordinate carefully moved to Master Chang's face and said even more cautiously, "Master, it's bad. Sister-in-law wants, what can she do? To look for a gigolo." Master Ching gritted his teeth. His subordinate's voice trembled even more. "Sister-in-law is going to sell the villa under her name." When Master Ching heard that, his heart and lungs were about to explode. That woman was really cruel. She actually wanted to sell their love nest. "I ate expired nuts last night. I'm going out today. I might be able to update tomorrow night." Chapter 5204. Master Ching was really angry. Why was that woman squinting at him? He had only been out for half a day and she wanted to sell their house. Did she really not have any feelings for him at all? Master Ching gritted his teeth and sneered, "If she wants to sell, then sell. It's best if she sells. Then she can leave peacefully. Don't send me off, I'm not going to serve you anymore. What's so good about that old woman? Her temper isn't very good, she's smelly and stubborn, and her looks are just a so-so. That little bit of good looks and that little bit of liveliness was given to her by Master Ching. Isn't it just that after following me, she looks somewhat radiant? In the past, she was fucking useless. He didn't even want her if she was given to him." Master Ching spoke for a long time, but his subordinates didn't dare to make a sound. In their hearts, their sister-in-law was already their sister-in-law, and she was quite powerful. She was the first person who could live well after being locked in the same room with the hot-tempered Master Ching. They were a little afraid of Sister Hong, even more so than they were afraid of Master Ching. Sister Hong only needed to give them a look. Master Ching needed to shout and scold them to control the situation. Most importantly, Master Ching was afraid of Sister Hong, even if he didn't admit it. After Master Ching finished shouting, he snorted, "I can't live without her." His subordinates didn't say anything, and Master Ching was furious. Are you all mute? Are you all afraid of her? She can still hit you all, and she still won't give you any money. Aren't you all just a woman? His subordinates still didn't speak. Master Ching was furious and asked someone to bring his luggage, tidy up a room. I want to sleep. Today is an unlucky day. Only then did his subordinate ask with a trembling voice, then do you want a girl to accompany you? Accompany my ass. Master Cheng's eyeballs were about to pop out. Can't you see that I'm in a bad mood? I'm also injured, can I even get close to a woman? Do you all want me to die? His subordinates collectively him. The women, on the other hand, were all sad. So many of them added up couldn't even compare to an old woman. It was obvious that Master Ching wasn't interested in them. Seeing them like this, Master Ching disliked them even more. He went straight back to his room to smoke his big cigar. Really, women aren't as interesting as big cigars. Master Ching sat in his own private suite, his feet on the coffee table in front of the sofa, smoking as he thought. He was really depressed in his heart. That woman was really too hateful. She was clearly the one who had done something wrong to him, but she didn't ask him to stay. Instead, she acted so righteously. Master Ching had made up his mind to take down Charles. In fact, he didn't have much interest in other women. He had seen many women and played with them. Wasn't it just a pair of arms and legs? There were plenty of them with his eyes closed. What was so special about it? He narrowed his eyes. He really liked that old and average-looking woman. Recently, because of her, he didn't even think about Sumu. That heartless old thing. Master Cheng was annoyed. He switched the TV channel after channel, but he still couldn't find the one he wanted to watch. He simply turned it off and focused on smoking his big cigar. At the door, a slender white hand stretched out, followed by Su Jian's small face. She was quite conservative today. She wore a branded suit and dressed like a mature professional woman. If it was in the past, Master Ching would definitely find it interesting. But today, he said with disdain, if you don't have the temperament, then don't pretend. You're making a joke of yourself. Chapter 5205. 1 second to remember, Su Jian was unhappy. She bit her lip and said, Master Ching, do you not want me anymore? Master Ching forced a smile and said, why would I not want you? Come, baby, come and give me a hug. Hee, I have plenty of women. There are plenty of women who throw themselves at me, and there are plenty who are prettier and younger than Lu Hong. What does he want from her? Why does he have to follow behind her and eat shit? Master Ching felt very uncomfortable. He narrowed his eyes and then hummed softly, actually, there's nothing good about her. Su Jian clearly knew who Master Ching was talking about, but she just pretended not to know. Who made our Master Ching angry? I'll coax Master Ching, okay? Master Ching was actually quite fond of women and he enjoyed it. Then coax me and see if I like it. Su Jian acted coquettishly and complimented him. Indeed, she managed to make Grandfather Ching happy. He even played a little game with her, drinking wine and smoking cigars. Su Jian saw that it was about time and wanted to take Master Ching down. Master Ching suddenly became reserved and leaned on the sofa. Can't you see that my arm is injured? Do you want me to die? Su Jian whispered a few words in his ear. Master Ching hesitated a few times, not because he wanted her to be young and beautiful, but because he wanted to give Sister Hong a taste of her strength. Thus, they really turned the act into reality. After that, Master Ching ran away. He sat on the balcony and smoked for a long time. Early in the morning, he suddenly drove to the villa that he and Sister Hong lived in. Sister Hong was moving things and was about to leave with her luggage. Master Ching was instantly angry. He went up and snatched her luggage. He said in a rough voice, "Woman, how can you leave like this? What do you take me for?" Sister Hong stared at him. Master Ching subconsciously touched his neck and said uncomfortably, "A mosquito bite." Sister Hong sneered. "Ching, what do you take me for? What do you take me for? An insignificant woman is fine, but no matter what, I'm still a man of my word. Since you don't want to continue living and roll around with another woman, just tell me and I'll still leave. It won't affect Master Chang's happiness." "You're so sensible, shouldn't you applaud me? Shouldn't you feel lucky?" Master Chang's throat was stuck. He knew that he was in the wrong, but he still put on a fierce expression. "You are my woman. Where did you run off to? You were the one who wronged me first. If you didn't write nonsense, would I be able to run? Did I mention you, Ching? Aren't those things you've done true?" Sister Hong threw the suitcase in her hand onto the ground, and it hit Master Chang's foot. Master Chang was in so much pain that he wanted to slap her to death, but he didn't have the courage. Sister Hong snorted, "Ching, that little vixen Su Jian made you very happy, right?" Master Chang's face turned red. "How did you know?" Sister Hong couldn't be bothered with him. She picked up her things and said, "We're done. There's nothing more to say. Ching, you're not a man." She stuffed the luggage into the trunk. Pausing for a moment, she said softly, "I've sold this place. Master Ching, you won't fight with me for this house, right?" "Sold?" Master Chang's temples were throbbing with pain. He suddenly roared out, "Woman, do you even have a heart? Have you ever thought about me? Or are you only looking at my money and how good I am to you?" Sister Hong laughed coldly. "Do you think I'm a scum?" With that said, she wanted to get into the car. Master Ching grabbed her arm. "Speak clearly." Chapter 5206. Sister Hong looked at him and said word by word, "I've made it very clear. Let go." Master Ching really wanted to force her to stay like before, but he was a little timid. He was the one who promised that there would be no other woman when they were together. After he and Su Jian did it, this woman went crazy. Suddenly, he was secretly delighted. "Are you jealous?" "I'm jealous of your mother." Sister Hong cursed, opened the car door and drove away. Master Chang was left in a mess in the wind. He smoked a big cigar and kicked his car door fiercely. Then, he said to his subordinates in a rough voice, "Go and find out which bastard bought this villa. Buy it for double the price." Then, he flew into a rage. This woman, didn't she just hug an insignificant woman? It's not like she hasn't done it before. Why is she so crazy? Grandpa Ching was infuriated, but Sister Hong ignored him. Sister Hong scolded as she drove, "This bastard." As she drove, she began to cry. Bastard. She almost thought that it was true love. That motherfucker Ching was a bastard who couldn't live without women in a day. This wasn't the first time he went back to the villa. At that time, nothing happened. She pretended that she didn't know. This time, he and Su Jian were in trouble. Sister Hong simply couldn't tolerate it. She sold the villa and went their separate ways. After that, for a long period of time, Master Ching harassed her in all sorts of ways and suppressed the news agency. He almost went to her house and set it on fire. However, Sister Hong endured it and ignored him. She used the money from selling the villa to buy a high-class villa and saved the rest. At night, Sister Hong sat at the bar and gently swirled the wine glass. She listened to sad music while drinking red wine. She was living a much better life than before. However, there was no meaning in one less person. She would never admit that she liked that bastard. Definitely not. But no matter what, there was still some light in the corner of her eyes. The phone on the counter rang. She reached out and picked it up, her voice indifferent. Cheng Zheng, don't call me anymore. It's impossible for us to be together. You should give up. If you're a man, stop harassing me. Master Cheng's voice was hoarse. I've already chased Su Jian away. I've chased all the other women away. Are you satisfied? Lu Hong, you're the most troublesome woman I've ever met. You don't have to see me in the future. Sister Hong hung up the phone. Raising her head, she still felt like crying. This bastard, they had only been together for a few days, and he had already cheated on her. No, he had openly cheated on her. How was he any different from that bastard, Zhang Fucai, in the past? Zhang Fucai knew that he was in the wrong, but this bastard deserved it. However, neither of them belonged to the other, so there was no need for her to be angry. Sister Hong continued to drink and smoke. Her fingers held a long and thin cigarette between her fingers as she puffed out the smoke. At this moment, a violent knocking sound came from the door. Sister Hong could guess who it was even if she used her toes to think. She had to open the door, because that bastard could definitely make the entire building restless. Sister Hong opened the door. Indeed, it was Master Ching standing outside. He held onto the door frame very handsomely. When he saw that Sister Hong had opened the door, he grinned. Did you miss me? If you have anything to say, hurry up and say it. Sister Hong let go of the door and walked back to the bar. Chapter 5207. Master Ching closed the door and entered quietly. Then, he looked at Sister Hong. Sister Hong stared at him with a hint of redness in her eyes. Master Ching grinned and smiled. You seem to be doing well. It seems like you don't miss me at all. Sister Hong continued to smoke her cigarette. Master Ching snatched the cigarette from her hand and smoked it himself. Although it was a lady's cigarette, Master Ching still smoked it domineeringly. Sister Hong stared at him. Master Chang's eyes turned red and he said in a low voice, "Should I move here or should we move back?" What do you mean? Sister Hong looked at the night view outside and said slowly. Master Ching chuckled and pulled her over. Sister Hong didn't refuse, after a long time, it was probably midnight. Master Ching got up and tiptoed to the kitchen to make noodles. His mother was starving. Master Ching had lived alone since he was young. He had all kinds of skills, but he didn't do it often after he became rich. He made 2 bowls of noodles unskillfully and was about to bring them to the dining room. He was like a fish in water here. In any case, he felt that Lu Hong's things were his and her house was his. Just as he turned around, he saw Sister Hong standing behind him. He was shocked. Master Ching placed the noodles on the dining table and said happily, "Let's eat some noodles and we'll take it as we've reconciled." After being a loving couple, he felt that there was no problem. Men always thought from a different perspective. Sister Hong flipped her hair and sat opposite him in silk pajamas. Master Ching was dazzled and then felt a little proud. This woman became so beautiful because of him. It's all my goddamn hard work. However, Sister Hong didn't buy it. Her expression was indifferent and she wanted to smoke. Master Ching took the cigarette out of her hand. Do you want to die? Smoking in the middle of the night. He pushed a bowl of noodles in front of her. Eat it. It's rare for me to serve a woman. Sister Hong took a bite and the taste was actually not bad. She didn't say anything else and continued to eat. Master Ching looked at her and then with a fawning expression, he wanted to praise her. The taste is not bad, right? I haven't cooked for many years. So feel honored, you're the first woman to taste my cooking. However, Sister Hong didn't buy it. After finishing her noodles, she chased him away. Alright, you can leave now that you're full. Master Ching continued to be affectionate. At this time, he still did not take it seriously. Are you really willing to drive me away? Sister Hong didn't say anything. She just took out her notebook and started to work. She had always been a night owl. In the past, when Master Ching lived with her, he would often scold her in the middle of the night. Later on, she restrained herself a little. But now that they weren't together, she was acting like this again. Master Ching reached out and closed her notebook. He was just short of smashing it. Woman, are you crazy? What time is it now? You're still working. Sister Hong faintly said, why can't I work? Go to sleep. Master Ching said gruffly. Sister Hong smiled and said, Ching, can you leave now? What do you mean? Master Ching could tell that she was serious. He squinted his eyes and said, didn't we reconcile just now? Sister Hong said nonchalantly, anyway, there has to be a man. It just so happens that you're here today. That's it. Master Ching asked in disbelief, if it was another man who fucked him today, would you still be able to do that with him? Of course. Sister Hong sneered. Otherwise, do you think I'm like you, talking like farting? Chapter 5208. Updated quickly, Master Ching was about to explode. You woman. If it was in the past, he would have hit her or left. But now, he didn't want to leave at all and wanted to stay. But how could Sister Hong allow him to stay? She glared at him. Are you waiting for me to call security? Master Ching was furious. Which woman dared to treat him like this? She must have eaten a bear's heart and a leopard's gall. He roared, all right, you scumbag. You're chasing me away after eating, aren't you? Am I the delicacy that I delivered to you? You're having a good time eating, aren't you? Not really, the taste is very average. Sister Hong said coldly, and Ching, don't come again. Maybe you'll see a man around and it won't be a good scene. Master Chang's eyes turned red. Fuck, this woman wants to bring a gigolo back. He grabbed Sister Hong's wrist and grinded his white teeth as he narrowed his eyes. Fine, you're using my money to support a gigolo. Lu Hong, tell me, have you been cheating on me these past few days? So what if I have? Sister Hong retorted without fear. Just as she finished speaking, Master Ching slapped her across the face. After slapping her, he was a little stunned himself. He didn't do it on purpose, he was just angry. He waited for this fierce woman to slap him again, or even 2 slaps, as long as she didn't go crazy. However, she wasn't done looking for a man. He still had to settle the score with her. Master Ching was waiting for her to slap him. Come, I won't fight back. But after waiting for a long time, Sister Hong didn't do anything. Master Ching panicked. Master Ching was dumbfounded. He said slowly, does your face still hurt? He reached out and wanted to touch her face, but Sister Hong didn't let him. She only said calmly, Ching, do you know how much of a jerk you are? He held back his anger and said gently, you shouldn't have provoked me. What about you? When you were with Su Jian, did you think that I wanted to slap you too? Sister Hong's voice sounded a little tired. Ching, we're all adults now. It's meaningless to play these childish games. Master Ching appeared somewhat dejected as he whispered, just this once. I realized that Zhang Fucai was the same. After a big fight, there was no future, divorce, move. Ching, history is always shockingly similar. I can't say that we need loyalty, but we need to have integrity. You agreed to my suggestion, but you always think that you're the boss since you're the one paying. You can do whatever you want. Anyway, you just have to spend money to coax them. But let me tell you, I have enough money, I don't need it anymore. Master Ching suddenly laughed. I finally know who you are, great reporter Lu. Now that you have the money, if you want to leave me, you can just say it. Who can't live without each other? I've underestimated you today. You've never fucking cared about me, have you? Yeah, so what? Are you going to slap me again? Sister Hong coldly said. Master Ching was so angry that he went back to the bedroom to change his clothes and flung the door open. This woman was too unreasonable. He didn't care if he didn't serve them anymore. But the moment he stepped out, the cold wind blew and Master Ching regretted it. Fuck, he had done so much for her and was chased out just like that. Wasn't he too useless? Master Ching was a little indignant and wanted to knock on the door. But after thinking about it, he gave up. Wasn't it just a woman? What was there for Master Ching to miss? Chapter 5209. Master Ching went downstairs. His underling was still waiting downstairs. When he saw Master Ching coming out, his underling eagerly went up to him. Master. That's it. Master Ching glared at him and got into the car. He closed his eyes and rested for a while. To the clubhouse. He was just squinting at a woman. What was there to reminisce about? She had 2 hands and 2 legs. How could he not find her? Other women were more obedient than her. Why did he have to go through all that trouble? He put his face in front of her and let her slap him. She didn't even give him face. How much did she dislike him? Well, he had spent a few $100 million, and he, Master Ching, had served her wholeheartedly for so many days. In any case, he should at least have some sex. She was really heartless. Today, she had completely treated him like a pretty boy who didn't want money. He squinted. How could those gigolos compare to him? Were they as manly as Master Ching? Were their bodies as good as Master Chang's? What made him squint was that he cared about the men she had in the past and the countless men she might have in the future. Just thinking about it made Master Chang's heart ache. However, what did it have to do with him that she wanted to look for a man? Master Ching had thought it through. Alright, since she said to split up, then let's split up. I don't care anymore. Master Ching had said this so many times that he had forgotten about it. His voice was cold as he thought about what that woman had said. He had to steel his heart and forget about that woman. Just like before, Master Ching asked a girl who knew how to sing a little song to sing a little song for him. It was also quite happy. He had said that it didn't matter whether he had that woman or not. What kind of person was Master Ching? Why would he hang himself on a tree? Since she wanted to break up with him, he would just break up with her. Master Ching found some fun that night. He didn't bring the women back from the villa. He just went to the clubhouse to have some fun. However, his underlings realized that Master Ching had become a vegetarian recently. He only listened to music and did not have any other activities. That was strange. They were curious. Master Ching was a little unnatural. What do you guys know? Don't you know that health is the trend now? I'm moderating myself. Really? His subordinates all thought that Master Ching was keeping his chastity for someone, only Master Ching himself didn't think so. Master Ching felt that he had completely forgotten about that woman, Chi-Chi. However, half a month later, when Sister Hong came to this clubhouse to spend money, she actually just sat in the bar for a while. The main reason was that she was under too much pressure from work and wanted to relax. However, Master Ching felt that this woman was really flirtatious. She had only left him for a short while and she was already looking for another man. Master Ching sat in a luxurious office with a huge LCD screen in front of him. He asked someone to bring it to Sister Hong so that he could see what she was doing. This woman was wearing so little in the middle of winter. Was she trying to seduce men? Also, she smoked and drank. Was she serious about not rejecting any man? He narrowed his eyes. This woman was not picky at all. Why didn't she continue with him? Master Chang's eyes were burning with anger. He looked at the woman, who seemed to have lost some weight, but also looked better. You're already so old. Who are you trying to show this to? Master Chang was not convinced. Fortunately, she didn't seem to be particularly friendly with anyone. Most of the time, she just chatted with them for a while and then didn't continue. Master Ching heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. Just as he was feeling pleased, this woman still wanted him. In the next second, his eyes widened. This woman took her coat. Was she preparing to go home with a pretty boy? Master Ching was about to go crazy. Chapter 52:10. This ignited the anger in Master Chang's heart. He gritted his teeth. Fine, I rejected him just to find a gigolo. I'll take my money and have fun with a gigolo. How could there be such a logic in this world? Master Ching felt that he had found a reasonable reason to care about her. Yes, that was it. She was spending my money and still wanted to fool around with a gigolo right under my nose. Did she think he was dead? Master Ching found a reason and ordered his men to stop Sister Hong, especially that gigolo. He brought him to a place and beat him up. Needless to say, this was done by Master Ching. Sister Hong was forced to sit on the sofa. In front of her were a few fat and strong men who surrounded her. Sister Hong found the leader familiar. Where's Ching Jing? Where's that bastard? The men did not dare to make a sound. Who in the underworld would dare to call Master Ching a bastard? Only sister-in-law would dare to do so. She even dared to slap Master Ching. Sister-in-law was their idol. Although Master Ching said that he would detain her, they did not dare to touch her. They did not even dare to look at her. Sister-in-law was sacred to them. Only Master Ching could touch her. Just when the situation was in a stalemate, Master Ching walked over with an impatient face. Who called me? The men reminded him respectfully. Master Ching, sister-in-law asked where the bastard is. Master Ching glared. Which bastard? Am I a bastard? The men thought to themselves. If sister-in-law and that gigolo had a night together, wouldn't Master Ching be a bastard? Master Ching gritted his teeth and walked over with a sinister smile. Do you want to know how your gigolo is now? Sister Hong frowned. He's my new assistant. He sent me a file. What did you do to him? Ah, an assistant. Not a gigolo. Master Ching scratched his head uncomfortably and coughed. So it's like this. I didn't do anything. I invited him for tea. I sent him home in a while. Sister Hong was well aware of Master Chang's personality. She frowned and asked, where is he? I want to see him. Master Ching smiled. There's nothing to see. Let him go back and give him a big red packet. Are you satisfied now? I'm sure he'll go home happily. As long as he wasn't a gigolo, everything was fine. She looked at Master Ching, and her gaze made Master Ching feel guilty. He smiled and said, Hey, don't look at me like that. You're giving me goosebumps. Women should be gentler. How can a man like you when you keep a straight face? Master Ching was speechless. Master Ching was speechless. He smiled and said, "Hey, don't look at me like that. It's giving me goosebumps." While grinning mischievously, he was about to lean over. Sister Hong pushed him away and said in a faint voice with some disdain, "No one wants you to like me. I can't afford Master Cheng's love." Master Cheng was about to lean over when Sister Hong said indifferently, "Mr. Cheng, please behave yourself. I want to see my assistant. If there's a need, we can call the police." When Master Cheng heard this, he was filled with jealousy. His eyes were cold. "Reporter Liu, do you want to see a dead fish or a live one?" Sister Hong looked at him with disdain. Master Cheng was instantly stabbed. This woman was looking down on him. That's right. She didn't look up to him. She liked those scholars. Even fat men could make do. Chapter 52:11. Master Cheng was furious. He waved his hand. "Let her go see her gigolo. Hurry up and leave. Don't dirty my place." Sister Hong sneered, but she didn't have the time to argue with him now. Sister Hong immediately went to see her assistant. Good heavens, 2 of his ribs were broken. It would be difficult for him to get up, let alone go to the hospital. Master Cheng leaned against the door and said sarcastically, "Your heart must be aching." Sister Hong comforted the assistant and walked over to stand in front of Master Cheng. Master Cheng's men were watching from outside. Master Cheng didn't think much of it. However, in the next second, Sister Hong raised her hand and gave him 2 tight slaps. "Send him to the hospital immediately. I won't call the police. Otherwise, Qingxing, watch as I burn this place down." Master Cheng liked this kind of ferociousness the most. His subordinates also admired him very much. However, was it really okay for sister-in-law to slap Master Cheng in front of everyone? This would make Master Cheng lose face. As expected, Master Cheng's eyes turned red. Every time he saw Sister Hong, his eyes would turn red. It was either because he was angry or because of her. "How dare you slap me?" Master Cheng was furious. "If you want to slap me, go home. I don't care about my face in front of outsiders." Sister Hong's fearless look made Master Cheng a little afraid. Master Cheng rubbed his head. I've said it before. Women can't be spoiled. Look, you've spoiled her. She dares to climb on top of your head and behave atrociously." He then said, "Men have to give in to women. I'm giving in to her because I'm not afraid of her." His subordinates all revealed an expression as if they understood him very well. Actually, Master Cheng didn't need to explain. They all knew and understood. Master Cheng looked at this bunch of bastards. Did they really understand? What did they understand? He didn't even know why he was so afraid of Lu Hong. It was as if his whole body would tremble the moment she looked at him. It was as if he had seen a ghost. Master Cheng reluctantly ordered his men. "Carry him away. Carry him to the hospital. He's an eyesore." Then, he looked at Sister Hong. "Are you satisfied now?" Sister Hong looked at him coldly and didn't say anything. Master Cheng very reluctantly said, "Pay the medical fees, pay several 100,000, let him lie in bed for a year." Sister Hong was going crazy. "Don't you have any shame? It's not good if I don't do anything, but you won't be happy if I do. You're so hard to please. Or do you feel sorry for him?" Master Cheng rolled his eyes and said shamelessly, "Then if I break 2 of my ribs, will you feel sorry for me?" Sister Hong cursed, "Pervert," and left for the hospital with one of her subordinates. It was Master Cheng's beloved car. Master Cheng was not convinced, and his heart was itching. In the end, he still followed them. Fortunately, there were only 2 broken ribs and no other injuries. Sister Hong contacted the assistant's family. She had already come to an agreement with the assistant privately. It wasn't that she wanted to help Master Cheng, but if the incident today was reported to the police, based on Master Cheng's personality, the assistant might really become a dead fish in the future. So, it was more practical to fight for compensation for him. Sister Hong hung up the phone and stood in the hospital corridor with Master Cheng, one on each side. Master Cheng looked at her expression and touched his nose. "Why are you looking at me so fiercely? Why? Have you really fallen for the assistant's pretty boy? What's so good about him? He's already lying on the ground after hitting 2 people. Can a spineless person make you happy?" Sister Hong's face was full of disdain. "Ching Zheng, is your brain full of such rubbish?" Chapter 52:12. "I have other things, do you want to take a look?" Master Cheng's face lit up, and he became indecent again. Sister Hong did not fall for his tricks, and coldly said, "You broke 2 of his ribs, how much do you want to pay?" Master Cheng did not care about money, he only cared about whether he could talk to Sister Hong a little more, and it would be best if she could conveniently bring him home. Master Cheng said indifferently, "Name a price." Sister Hong lightly said, 2 million, he won't follow me in the future, so consider it a little compensation. "Why not follow you? Isn't he quite good-looking, and it's quite pleasing to the eye to have him by your side? Great reporter Lu is rich, don't tell me all women of your age like little wolf puppies." Master Cheng said sourly. Sister Hong sneered, "That's right, all women of our age like little wolf puppies, Master Cheng, you're old." Master Cheng was furious, this woman was simply too much. He was not willing to pay a single cent, and even had the guts to shamelessly ask to go home with her for a night, and he would pay 2 million. "Okay." Sister Hong was surprisingly straightforward, and then she walked towards the elevator. Master Cheng simply could not believe his good luck, and was extremely excited, rubbing his hands, and then followed her. In the middle of the night, Master Cheng was not happy. He squatted in the corner of the sofa, smoking, and he felt that this woman was treating him differently from before. In the past, they were quite good together, but now, it was not that it was not good, but it did not feel right. She was just dealing with him, and it was not sincere at all. Master Cheng fiercely smoked a few cigarettes, and then left without waking her up, nor did he say anything. The next day, he had someone send a check over. After getting it once, Master Cheng should have been happy, but why did his heart feel empty? In the past, that woman hated him, and it was true that she was fierce to him, but she still had a heart. She would yell at him, scold him, hit him, and scratch him with her nails, saying that he was shameless and shameless. Not anymore. She was just very docile, as if she was only with him for the $2 million. Actually, it was not that she did not have money, and he knew that she was not a stingy person. She did this to help him, just to disgust him. Thinking of this possibility, Master Cheng's pride was greatly insulted. Previously, they had separated because they were angry, but this time, Master Cheng was really hurt. He silently returned to his villa and didn't contact Sister Hong again. He didn't look for trouble with her either, as if nothing had happened. Another thing that made Mr. Cheng sad was that Su Mu was going to get married to a pretty boy. Master Cheng was very sad. He had been drinking for a few days and finally had a hole in his stomach. He was carried to the hospital by his subordinates. Master Cheng was in a rather sorry state because he met Sister Hong. She was here to see that gigolo. After listening to his subordinate, Master Cheng ignored his own pain and gritted his teeth as he thought, "Didn't I say that I would leave the news agency after paying 2 million? I'm not even an employee anymore. Why does she still care? Now that I'm like this, I don't see her coming forward to ask. Master Chang's heart was empty. He was broken up, and for a moment, he didn't know whether to be sad for Su Mu or for Sister Hong. In short, he was very busy. When Sister Hong saw him enter the operating room, she called his subordinate, Xiao Mao, over. Did your Master Ching play with women all the way to the hospital? Xiao Mao was very good with words. No, sister-in-law. Master Ching just misses you, and he drinks every day until his stomach is broken. Updated tomorrow morning. Chapter 52:13. How could Sister Hong believe such nonsense? She sneered and did not say a word. After checking on the assistant, she went to the smoking area and smoked for a long time. She stood there for about 2 to 3 hours. Xiao Mao ran over and reported the good news. Sister-in-law, Master Ching is fine now. Don't worry. Sister Hong said coldly, what's there to worry about? He can go wherever he wants to go. I really can't control him. Xiao Mao scratched his head and did not say a word. When Master Chang and sister-in-law quarreled, they were the unlucky ones. As long as sister-in-law did not come back, Master Chang would not feel good. Master Chang was quite sad that Miss Su was going to get married, but they all felt that Master Chang was most upset about losing his sister-in-law. Master Chang was so high-spirited when he was with his sister-in-law, and he looked more cultured. My sister-in-law is really capable. She managed to make Master Chang so obedient. Sister Hong looked at Xiao Mao. Don't tell anyone that I'm here. I'm leaving. Xiao Mao cleverly asked even though he knew the answer, don't tell anyone. Sister Hong glared at him. Bastard. Xiao Mao replied with an "oh" and did not say a word. Sister Hong looked at him. Did you hear that? Xiao Mao said gloomily, I only listen to Master Ching. Master Ching gives me money to spend. Sister Hong wanted to scold him, but she thought that what he said was reasonable. She took out a few thousand yuan from her wallet and gave it to Xiao Mao. Take the flowers. Don't tell him. Xiao Mao replied with an "oh" and watched Sister Hong leave. Sister Hong had a sharp tongue but a soft heart. Xiao Mao could tell that she wasn't afraid. Hence, when Master Ching woke up, Xiao Mao told Master Ching in detail how worried Sister Hong was, how she waited outside for 2 hours, and how she smoked so hard that she almost had a hole in her lung. He only left out the part where she took a few thousand yuan. Sister Hong did not allow him to say it. It had to be said that Xiao Mao's understanding was really strange. Master Ching was indeed in good health. After the surgery, he was no longer a problem. He sat up slightly and touched his head. He grinned. I knew that woman couldn't bear to leave me. She's just a stubborn duck. See, she's so worried that she can't even talk. Xiao Mao said, Sister Hong is asking if Master Ching is dead. Master Ching glared at him and happily said, what does a little kid like you know? This is our sweet talk, it's very warm. Xiao Mao worshipped Sister Hong even more. He would be happy to scold Master Ching a few times. Master Ching closed his eyes, find the best chef to nourish my body. When I'm better, I'll go and coax your sister-in-law back. For a moment, he even had the thought of getting married, but it was only a fleeting thought. But then he remembered that Su Mu was getting married today. He asked Xiao Mao to find someone to send a gift to her. He was ill, so he didn't want to be picky. He asked the person to pick the most expensive one. It didn't matter how eye-catching it was, so that his little Moo would feel that he was rich. In the end, his chief consultant thought about it and felt that giving money was the best way to show Master Chang's sincerity. So, he opened the warehouse and took out 50 million in cash. He got a car and transported it to the wedding venue. He used a forklift to shovel it into the elevator and sent it to the hall. He piled it up for Sumu to see. This wedding was truly unbearable. Sumu had always known Master Chang's temper. If she didn't accept these lackeys, she would be in trouble. If she accepted them, Yi Xiangnan would be unhappy. Recently, Yi Xiangnan had been very jealous. She didn't know why he was jealous of her ordinary appearance. Sumu asked the staff to count the 50 million and shovel it into the Yi family's vault with a forklift. Chapter 52:14. Sumu asked the staff to count the 50 million yuan and shoveled it into the vault of the Yi family with a forklift. Tomorrow, they would deposit it in the bank. She cared about Master Chang's health and called him personally to express her condolences. These etiquettes were necessary, although Master Chang was a jerk. Sumu got married. Su Shaoqing was the only one in her family. Su Chang's legs were not convenient. Her mother Wang Yuanke and Su Jian hated her very much. She didn't come, nor did she call. Sumu was not sad. If she had been sad all the time, her heart would have been broken long ago. She was very calm now. Even though Yi Xiangnan stared at her for a long time, she still did so. She tilted her head. "Are you unhappy?" Boss Yi snorted softly. "How dare I be unhappy? Mrs. Yi is very capable now and has many friends." But he still reminded her. "Can you accept Qing Zhang's money in such a high-profile way?" Sumu looked down. "I have to be high-profile. It's not good if I don't accept it. Tomorrow, I will donate it to a charity or something. Otherwise, no one will believe it if the money is returned." Yi Xiangnan didn't know that she was thinking so far ahead. When no one was around, he gently pinched her face. "I didn't know that Mrs. Yi was so capable. It seems that being a small staff has wronged you. How about you be transferred to the headquarters of Stars Entertainment?" "No, I think it's good to be a media person. I don't want to be stained with the smell of money." Sumu was getting bolder and bolder. She dared to talk back to him. Yi Xiangnan didn't care. He looked at her and continued the wedding process. Today's wedding was very grand. Yi Hui and Shen Wenshuan were together. When they toasted, they called her sister-in-law, which made people feel a little sad. Sumu was fine. She didn't have the feeling of a woman who only had one wedding in her life. The main reason was that she seemed to lack the romantic cells. Besides, their children were grown up. They had been an old couple for so long. However, when she arrived at the hotel, she was still surprised. It was a presidential suite that was decorated very well for a wedding night. It was about a few hundred square meters. In the master bedroom, there was a large bed in the middle. It was retro and very gorgeous. Red roses were scattered on the carpet, and a fiery red silk nightgown was placed in the middle of the bed. They were all prepared for Sumu. CEO Yi was very satisfied with this wedding night. Early in the morning, as was his habit, he went to the living room, opened the piano, and played a song. Sumu woke up to the sound of the piano. She opened her eyes and closed them again, quietly listening to him play. She never knew that Yi Xiangnan could play the piano so well, and he never mentioned it. She leaned on the pillow and listened quietly. He played for a long time and played many songs. Sumu felt a little sleepy. After a long time, a rose with water drops was put on her pillow. "Good morning, Mrs. Yi." Sumu was already very sleepy at this time. She reached out to take it and then closed her eyes. "I want to sleep for a while." He leaned over and said, "Have breakfast with me, and then go to sleep later." "Yi Xiangnan, what time is it?" She put her arms around his neck and asked. He murmured, "It's almost 10 o'clock, and you're still sleeping." She patted his handsome face with her hand. "It's all your fault." He laughed in a low voice. "Yes, it's my fault. Now, would you like to get up and have breakfast with me?" She closed her eyes and touched his beautiful chin with her fingers. "I want to sleep for a while." Chapter 52:15. It's free. Either you accompany me or I accompany you. Choose one, huh? His voice was soft and full of threat. Either you accompany me or I accompany you. Choose one, huh? His voice was very soft and full of threat. Sumu woke up at once, opened her eyes and stared at him. "You are shameless." Yi Xiangnan teased her. "How many men are shameless? Do you think your good friend Qingjing is shameless? If he was, he wouldn't have trapped your other good friend in the villa for a week. I heard that it cost hundreds of millions of yuan. But your good friend Qingjing couldn't control himself and ate your sister secretly. He fell out with your good friend Hong." In a good mood, CEO Yi told his wife in a very simple and dramatic manner. He meant that Qingjing had slept with her good friend and her sister, so she shouldn't have any other thoughts. How could Sumu not know his thoughts? She snorted softly, lay flat and said softly, "Qingjing was not like this when he was a child. He was very poor. No one cared about him and he couldn't even eat a mouthful of food." Yi Xiangnan snorted coldly. "Do you feel sorry for him?" "No." She turned her head. "Qingjing is not that bad, but there is no one to guide him." Yi Xiangnan looked at her. Sumu wisely stopped talking, otherwise she would probably be punished by him again. Yi Xiangnan maintained such a posture and lowered his voice slightly. "Can't you see that I am jealous, Mrs. Yi? You have known him for many years since you paid so much attention to him." Sumu said softly, "You and Qin Yihuan have known each other for many years, and you almost got married. I didn't make trouble for you. It was probably that when the relationship was really good to a certain extent, some words could be said, and she didn't worry that he would hurt her." Sure enough, Yi Xiangnan thought for a while and then smiled in a low voice. "You are not angry because you don't care about me enough, Mrs. Yi, right? How could there be such a reason in the world?" Sumu was speechless. In the end, he carried her to the dining room. She hit him and said, "I haven't washed my face and brushed my teeth yet. Sometimes, I can be lenient with you." He actually looked like he didn't care. Sumu was speechless. "I want to brush my teeth. I'm not used to it." Then, she was speechless. After a long time, Yi Xiangnan finally let go of her and said in a low voice, "I told you, I don't care." She glared at him and then covered her face. "Yi Xiangnan, you're so shameless." He smiled and let her go to brush her teeth and wash her face. When Sumu came out, she saw Yi Xiangnan smoking with a cold expression. She straightened her clothes and walked over. "What's wrong?" He soon returned to his normal appearance and said lightly, "Nothing. I thought of some business things and forgot that we are newlyweds." Yi Xiangnan was surprisingly good to Sumu recently, and Sumu was a little not used to it. She sat down to have breakfast with him, which was actually a Chinese meal. She asked him in a low voice how long he would stay in the hotel. "A week." He pinched her little chin. "Don't worry. My mother will take care of Fengshuan. They will take good care of you." Sumu said no, and then seemed to think of something. "You. Why do you have to stay in the hotel? Isn't it good at home?" He looked at her and smiled. "These. Are you not satisfied with them?" Sumu said no, "We don't have to do this." He looked at her and suddenly said, "Sumu, have you ever thought that I might really like you?" Chapter 52:16. Sumu was stunned. Yi Xiangnan smiled faintly. Is it that hard to understand? We are married. Isn't it normal for a husband to like his wife? He continued, Sumu, in this world, besides love at first sight, there is also love that grows with time. Sumu apologized in a low voice, Yi Xiangnan, I haven't. You don't need to apologize. You just need to make me like you. CEO Yi said flirtatiously. If it were an ordinary woman, she wouldn't be able to resist this. However, Sumu might have been spoiled by him. She wasn't moved and only glanced at him. CEO Yi was very unhappy, but he couldn't bear to do anything to her, so he could only bear with it. After a while, he said in a low voice, Sumu, you are my wife, so I only have one thing to say to you. You can't keep changing up there. Forget about Su Jian, but that Hong Jie, you care about her. Tell her to stay away from Qingzheng. Sumu was stunned and then looked at Yi Xiangnan. Yi Xiangnan poured a glass of red wine for her and smiled. You should have known this long ago, right? Sumu shook her head and asked softly, I mean, Yi Xiangnan, do you have another identity? He took a sip of Hong Jie elegantly and smiled. Besides being the CEO of Stars Entertainment, I also have another identity, which is Sumu's husband. Is there a problem? Sumu shook her head. I mean, something else. Yi Xiangnan's gaze deepened. Do you want to know? Perhaps because his gaze was too passionate, Sumu was a little angry. She bit her lip and said, I don't want to know. He smiled and didn't say anything else. Yi Xiangnan's surname was Yi, but at the same time, his surname was also Wen. That person from the Wen family was at the top, so naturally, he had to help. There were some things that person would only trust his own family, but Yi Xiangnan had never shown up in public. However, Qingzheng knew about these rumors. Therefore, he never dared to touch Yi Xiangnan. Touching Yi Xiangnan was equivalent to declaring war with the Wen clan. Master Qing didn't have the courage to do so. It didn't matter if he died alone, but he had a large group of brothers under him. So when the gigolo married the girl he secretly loved, he still generously sent 50 million as a congratulatory gift. Sumu's intention was quite vicious. However, it was a wise move for Sumu to donate. Yi Xiannan felt that it would be good if she could do some public relations or something. Yi Xiangnan deliberately blurred his identity and spent 7 days in the hotel with Sumu. They didn't go on a honeymoon. CEO Yi was very busy and would occasionally have a meeting in the suite downstairs. Now, the rumors in Stars Entertainment were very lively. CEO Yi was so infatuated with Mrs. Yi and so on. He didn't want to put her down. He didn't want to have children or work, but just wanted to be with Mrs. Yi all day long. Until CEO Yi finished his wedding leave and brought Mrs. Yi to work. As expected, CEO Yi looked energetic, but Mrs. Yi was very reluctant. She didn't have any radiance of a newlywed, but only looked haggard. That was because she was squeezed by CEO Yi. The staff in Stars Entertainment sympathized with Mrs. Yi. She was just a newlywed, but she was still squeezed by CEO Yi. She must have worked for a long time every day. After a day of work, Sumu was indeed not used to it. Perhaps she was too tired these days. After work, she sat in the car and looked at Yi Xiangnan. I have an appointment with Sister Hong to have dinner together. As Yi Xiannan drove, she asked, Are you going to let me know when you've decided? If it was in the past, he would probably get angry at her. But now, his temper was surprisingly good. Chapter 52:17. Sumu nodded. Yeah, I've made an appointment. You won't turn me down, right? He took a cigarette and put it on his lips. Then, he remembered that she was in the car and put it down. He said calmly, "You're my wife, not my slave. Where's the appointment? I'll send you there." Sumu felt a little strange as she gave him an address. Yi Xiangnan drove the car over. Sumu got out of the car and bent down. "I'll take a taxi back later. You can go back first." Yi Xiangnan put the cigarette in his mouth. "Hurry in." Sumu didn't think too much about it and went straight in. The restaurant that she and Sister Hong had arranged to eat at was pretty good. Even though it wasn't a top-notch restaurant, the food was pretty good. When she saw Sister Hong again, the two of them were completely different. Sister Hong looked quite energetic and prettier. Sumu also looked prettier, especially her temperament. However, she didn't look energetic at all. She didn't look like a newlywed at all. She had just sat down when Sister Hong smiled. They say that capitalists suck blood. It's true. Sumu only snapped back to her senses after a few seconds. She lowered her gaze. "Are you making fun of me too?" Sister Hong glanced outside. "Look, he's still waiting for you outside." Sumu was a little surprised. She looked outside and saw that Yi Xiangnan's car was still there. He rolled down the window and was smoking with one hand while looking at his phone with the other. Sister Hong smiled. President Yi seems quite infatuated. Sumu thought about Yi Xiangnan's words and felt a little strange. However, she didn't want to show it in front of Sister Hong. Sister Hong smiled. "Do you want to ask him to come over and eat with us?" Su Shu asked her to order and went outside. Yi Xiangnan. She called his name. Her face was a little hot as though it was the first time she had called him that way. Yi Xiangnan looked at her and frowned. "Why did you run out without a jacket?" He got out of the car and put his jacket on her shoulders. Su Mu looked up. "Sister Hong wants you to keep eating." "No need. You guys eat. I'll wait for you here. Don't eat too long and don't eat too much. Go home and cook a bowl of noodles for me." He smiled. Sumu pursed her lips. "Okay, I'll be faster." She turned around and went in. Yi Xiangnan didn't know why. Just as he was about to get into the car, he saw Shinting bringing Qin Yihuan over for dinner. He smiled and leaned against the car door. "You're pregnant and you're still out for dinner." Shinting and Qin Yihuan turned around and saw that it was him. Qin Yihuan stopped in her tracks. "Xiannan, why are you at the entrance of the restaurant?" Yi Xiangnan smiled and raised his chin. "Su Mu is eating with her friends. I'll wait for her outside." For some reason, Qin Yihuan was quite happy to hear his words. He must really like Su Mu. Xiangnan was the most impatient person. Now he was willing to wait at the door for others to finish eating. She looked at him and then at Shinting. "Why don't we let him eat with us?" Shinting nodded and didn't mind it too much. Now that everyone had a family, the past seemed to be blurred. Yi Xiangnan waved his hand. "You two can have some private time. I won't disturb you." Qin Yihuan looked at him. After a while, she suddenly asked softly, "Xiangnan, are you afraid that Su Mu will be unhappy?" "Absolutely not. You're thinking too much." CEO Yi denied it expressionlessly. However, the more Qin Yihuan looked at him, the more she felt that it was the same. She didn't expect that Yi Xiangnan would have such a day. He was afraid of his wife. Chapter 52:18. Updated quickly, Qin Yihuan laughed at him for a while, and then went to eat contentedly, leaving Yi Xiangnan in a mess. He took a puff of his cigarette and thought to himself, I'm not afraid of my wife. CEO Yi was very angry, and once he got angry, he would get back at Mrs. Yi. But now, he was still waiting patiently. Su Mu and Sister Hong ate for about an hour, and she was embarrassed to let Yi Xiangnan wait outside for 2 or 3 hours. That would be too unkind of her. During the meal, she tactfully told Sister Hong about Qingzheng. Sister Hong had always known about it, but she only said a word of thanks, and then said softly, if he doesn't go ashore himself, no one can save him. Su Mu asked softly, then, do you like him? Sister Hong didn't answer this question directly, but just lit a cigarette, silently watched the cigarette burn out, and then said softly, at my age, it's no longer a matter of whether I like him or not. Su Mu, I'm not like you, I can't have children, and there's nothing else I can do with men other than play, and it's the same with Qingzheng. Really? Su Mu's simple 2 words almost made Sister Hong cry. She took another cigarette, lit it, and fiercely took 2 puffs. That bastard turned around and slept with Su Jian. Why would I want such a man who has no integrity? Su Mu nodded. He does have no integrity. She then said softly, then that's it. It's good that he broke. Sister Hong nodded. I won't miss him. Su Mu knew Master Cheng's character, and said softly, if he causes trouble for you again, I can help you talk to him. No need, it's a clean break. I won't buy it. Sister Hong's eyes were a little red. Then she sighed softly. He's such an uncouth man. Why did I like him? But for a woman like Sister Hong, liking him was one thing, and principles were another. She could play with him, but why bother to make such a man angry? She let out a long breath. Don't worry about me, I'm fine. I'm very good. I have money and time now, and I can find a young wolf dog when I'm in the mood. Sister Hong smiled again. Freer than you. Su Mu was also very rich. Yi Xiannan's personal assets of hundreds of billions were all in her hands, but she actually didn't have the chance to spend money because Yi Xiannan always kept her by his side. Sister Hong was right, she didn't have any freedom at all. After saying goodbye to Sister Hong, Su Mu put on Yi Xiannan's jacket and walked out. When she got into the car, she saw Yi Xiannan looking at her. It was warm in the car. Su Mu took off his jacket and looked at him. Are you hungry? Do you want me to drive? She was a little strange, and she felt. Yi Xiannan smiled. It's better if I drive. When they returned to the villa where they lived, it was already 9:00 at night. He was still hungry, and Su Mu felt a little guilty, so she went to the kitchen to help him. Chapter 52:19. Memorize. In the end, Mr. Yi proved that Mrs. Yi was afraid of Mr. Yi. By the time he was finally willing to let her go, her face was already burnt. Su Mu was quite angry. Yi Xiangnan. He chuckled. I'll do it. He carried her back to the master bedroom and coaxed her for a long time before Su Mu was willing to talk to him again. I'm going downstairs. You should eat something too, he murmured with a hint of deception in his voice. Su Mu bit her lower lip and looked at him. Will you? You look down on me, Mrs. Yi. He smiled and pinched her cheek. Wait and see. Su Mu was waiting for him. Yi Xiangnan walked out. 20 minutes later, he made 2 bowls of noodles and came back to call Su Mu. Out of consideration, he carried her to the dining room. Su Mu looked at the 2 bowls of noodles and was a little surprised. Its appearance was surprisingly good, and its fragrance was also authentic. She looked at him. Yi Xiangnan smiled. I learned it on purpose. It's not like the family doesn't hire full-time servants. Of course, I know how to cook. I'll find time to learn more cuisines in the future. Su Mu silently took a bite. It was indeed very nice. She paused for a moment before saying softly, Yi Xiangnan, you really don't need to change your lifestyle for me. She knew that a young master like him did not do any chores. He was usually very busy, so how could he have the time to do these things? She felt uneasy and felt that this was too much of a stretch. Probably knowing what she was thinking, Yi Xiangnan chuckled softly. I feel pretty good. It's very homey. Isn't it like living with a wife and child? If others can do it, so can I? Oh, Su Mu suddenly asked, is this other person Enchanting? Yi Xiangnan poured himself a glass of red wine. Why did you ask about him? She said slowly, we met in the dining room. Yi Xiangnan, are you stimulated? He stared at her for a long time and then asked softly, do you think I'm stimulated by Enchanting? Su Mu said nothing and ate the noodles in silence. Yi Xiangnan tugged at her hair. Which part of me makes you think that I'm stimulated, huh? I'm eating noodles, Su Mu whispered. Speak clearly, or else. He said very softly. Su Mu looked up. Yi Xiangnan, is this how you threaten me? Yes, he said confidently. Wouldn't it be a loss if I didn't take advantage of this advantage? As he spoke, he immediately finished the noodles and said casually, I'll take a shower first. I'll wait for you, okay? Su Mu was furious. Yi Xiangnan, you bastard. We're newlyweds. He reminded her kindly. And I'm only 30 years old. What do you want me to do? After finishing the noodles, Su Mu cleaned up quietly and went to the guest room to lock the door. Yi Xiangnan took a shower and came out of the bathroom. There was no one in the master bedroom. He went downstairs while drying his hair. There was no one downstairs, so he knew that she was hiding in the guest room. Yi Xiangnan didn't rush to find her. He drank 2 glasses of red wine downstairs and then went upstairs slowly. He opened the door with the spare key. From that night on, Su Mu didn't sleep in the guest room again. However, the benefit was that she could see Cymbidium chinense the next morning. When he opened his eyes, the little Cymbidium chinense was lying on the bed, guarding him. Su Mu reached out and touched his little face. How did you get here? Dad picked me up, Cymbidium chinense said softly. Dad said Mom was tired and asked me not to disturb Mom. Su Mu greeted Yi Xiangnan in her heart. Cymbidium chinense came over and kissed her mom. Mom, do you want to get up for breakfast? Dad made breakfast. Chapter 52:20. She didn't know why, because of Cymbidium chinense's words, Su Mu's anger disappeared. It seemed that it was really good. That arrogant man seemed to have changed a lot for her. Her face was a little hot, and she felt that she was a little narcissistic. He might just be on a whim, and he wouldn't be like this forever. But she also felt that it would be good if he could be like this forever. Cymbidium chinense looked at her mother suspiciously, and said very softly, Mom, why is your face red? Su Mu reached out to touch her face, and said, Did I? Cymbidium chinense nodded vigorously, yes. Su Mu bit her lower lip, really? Cymbidium chinense affirmed, red. The book said that I was shy. Mom, did you fall in love with Dad? Su Mu was stumped by the question. It was really difficult for him to answer his son. Cymbidium chinense nodded understandingly, and stretched out his little hand. In fact, Dad is also very good. He is handsome and rich. On TV, girls like him the most. The corner of Su Mu's mouth twitched slightly. Who taught him this? Yi Xiangnan held a cup of coffee, leaned against the door, and smiled. Cymbidium chinense said it very well. Su Mu pressed her lower lip. Did you teach him? I didn't. I just wanted to say that we have to respect the truth, don't you think so, Mrs. Yi? He deliberately teased her to make her angry. Su Mu simply ignored him. Cymbidium chinense looked at her for a long time, and then came to a conclusion. Dad likes Mom, but I don't know if Mom likes Dad. I admit it. Yi Xiangnan said openly. Cymbidium chinense, women say one thing but mean another. They obviously like it in their hearts, but they pretend that they don't. Cymbidium chinense made an "oh" sound and then asked softly, is Mother like this too? Yi Xiangnan nodded and said, she just refuses to admit it. Su Mu couldn't stand it anymore. She immediately got up from the bed. Yi Xiangnan. Yi Xiangnan smiled. Little Cymbidium chinense asked, Mommy, why are you wearing Daddy's shirt? Oh, it smells so good. Yi Xiangnan called his son over. Daddy will teach you the law of smelling good. Little Cymbidium chinense didn't seem to understand, but Su Mu was speechless. What did she teach her son every day? She ran back to change her clothes, but she could not help but smile. There seemed to be a sense of happiness. No, she definitely didn't think like that. Behind her, Yi Xiangnan was educating his son again. Your mother must be saying one thing but mean another now. She obviously likes it, but she has to pretend that she doesn't like it. Cymbidium chinense swallowed his saliva. That seems to be the case. Then he raised his head. He looked at his father. He suddenly realized that his father was really handsome and good-looking. Many aunties would like him, right? The little person looked worried again, and then said dejectedly, Mommy, you better not like Daddy. I don't know how long Daddy can like Mommy. Yi Xiangnan's heart softened. He squatted down and asked the little guy softly, did you think of this yourself, or did Mommy tell you? I thought of it myself. Cymbidium chinense said honestly. He thought of something and wanted to say it but stopped. Even if he didn't say those things, Yi Xiangnan knew what it was. It was about Lin Lu. Not only did it hurt Cymbidium chinense, but it also hurt Su Mu's love for him. She probably didn't have much hope for it. That was why she entered this marriage as an outsider. She was actually prepared to be abandoned by him at any time, ready to leave this family at any time. He just felt strange. If she wanted to leave, would she bring Cymbidium chinense with her? Did she like him? Or was she really afraid of getting hurt? Chapter 52-21. Yi Xiannan smiled faintly as she thought this. He didn't say anything, nor did he follow her in. He wanted her to think about it. At least give her time to think about whether she liked him or not. Yi Xiangnan smiled and brought the little Cymbidium chinense downstairs to wait for Su Mu to have breakfast together. Su Mu was in the master bedroom, brushing her teeth and washing her face with a blush. The woman in the mirror looked like a newborn, so beautiful that she couldn't even recognize her. As she brushed her teeth, she thought about Yi Xiangnan's words and bit her lower lip. He said he liked her, but she really didn't know how long someone like him could like her. She didn't even know if he was just fresh. Just like Qingzhang and Sister Hong. Thinking about it, her fluttering heart calmed down. When she went downstairs, she changed into a conservative dress with a high collar to cover her neck. Yi Xiangnan frowned. It's not cold at home. Su Mu didn't say anything. She thought for a moment and suddenly understood. Jun Yan tilted his head and smiled at her. It seemed to have a deeper meaning. Su Mu's face was a little hot as she ate her breakfast in silence. Suddenly, she remembered that today's breakfast was made by Yi Xiangnan. She raised her eyes and looked at him silently. Yi Xiangnan chuckled. What's wrong? Wasn't breakfast good? She said no, and then her eyes became misty. It wasn't because she was touched that such a handsome and rich man had made breakfast for her, but because other than the Cymbidium chinense, she hadn't felt the warmth of a family in a long time. When Yuan treated her very well, and so did Yi Mubai, but this was different. Yi Xiangnan used to not take her seriously and even hated her, but now she found a trace of warmth in him. It was as if she finally had a family. Because it was the weekend, Sumu didn't need to work overtime as Mrs. Yi. Asking CEO Ye's wife to work overtime, does he not want to work anymore? After breakfast, the Cymbidium chinense obediently went to read. The little Cymbidium chinense was so pitiful. It had to receive elite education at such a young age. Sumu felt sorry for it. However, she didn't interfere too much. Cymbidium chinense didn't complain. If she were to shout at the side, Yi Xiangnan would definitely say that she was a kind mother and spoiled her son. She walked into the kitchen. Yi Xiangnan was tidying up. The way he did housework was pleasing to the eye. She had never thought that he would do housework. For the first time, Sumu hugged him from behind and murmured, Yi Xiangnan, will it be tough? He paused. He felt her face against his back, and his heart was in a mess of novelty and excitement. He laughed at himself. It wasn't that he hadn't had women before. Besides, they weren't very beautiful. Why couldn't he let it go? Why did he care so much? He lowered his eyes and said, Mumu, I won't be able to do anything if you keep doing this. Ask someone for help. It's not a good idea for you to do things all the time. She whispered. Yi Xiangnan looked down at her and chuckled. Do you feel sorry for me? No. Her voice was soft. I just think that you're so good-looking. If your hands are rough, you won't look good. Sumu deliberately annoyed him, but Yi Xiangnan was not annoyed at all. Instead, he whispered, You like my hands, huh? He deliberately stretched them out in front of her. His fingers were slender and very beautiful, but Sumu just felt very ashamed. She didn't know what she was ashamed of. Chapter 52-22. Yi Xiangnan chuckled. Go outside and play. I'll clean up here. She didn't move. His voice became hoarse again. Sumu, Cymbidium chinense is at home. I don't want him to see some scenes that are not suitable for children. Cooperate with me, Mrs. Yi. When Sumu went out, her face was hot. He was so shameless. Seeing her mother coming out, the little Cymbidium chinense raised her head and asked innocently, Mom, why is your face red again? Sumu covered her face. Really? She didn't know whether it was red or not, but it was hot. Yi Xiangnan came out of the kitchen, sat beside her and turned on the TV. Then he said to the Cymbidium chinense, Do your homework. Don't disturb Mom and Dad when they are in love. The little Cymbidium chinense's mouth opened into an O shape. Then she ran upstairs with a stack of books and moved the nest to her parents. Sumu wanted to move her head away, but Yi Xiangnan didn't let her. He pressed her and said, Watch TV with me for a while. Don't you have something to say to me? Let's talk. Sumu bit her lower lip. Actually, I don't have anything else to say. Really? Yi Xiangnan smiled. Then I'll tell you, okay? Sumu pretended to watch TV. He put his arm around her shoulder and said casually, I'll call 2 aunts to come over later, or I'll just move back. Sumu glanced at him. Yi Xiangnan smiled. It's not convenient. I want to sleep for a while in the morning. With that, he stretched himself. The hint was obvious. Sumu didn't want to pay attention to his words at all. But Yi Xiangnan said calmly, I received a notice. It may be a little busy later. Sumu, please take care of Cymbidium chinense and our family. Sumu looked at him and asked softly, what happened? He hugged her. It's nothing particularly important. Just take care of Cymbidium chinense. She just thought it was about Star's entertainment. But after a while, Yi Xiangnan said calmly, Qingjing, you can't stay there anymore. Sumu was stunned. Yi Xiannan kissed her forehead. If he's willing to turn back now, there's still a chance for him to escape unscathed. But I'm afraid he won't. Sumu was still in a daze. She couldn't digest the information for a long time. After a long time, she said in a low voice, worst case scenario, what will happen to him? Yi Xiangnan's expression and voice were indifferent. That's the worst case scenario. He looked at Sumu and did not speak. But his expression said it all. Sumu was stunned. It took her a long time to find her voice. Is it possible that he will change? Haven't you seen Qing Zheng's current lifestyle? He's spending tens of millions of dollars at a time. How could he tolerate that? Yi Xiangnan looked indifferent and let out a long sigh. If he can't change it, then tell your sister Hong to stay away from him. Sumu said softly that she understood. Then, she felt a little melancholy. He used to be a very simple person. In front of the big picture, we have to let go of our personal emotions. Yi Xiangnan's voice was calm, I'm not targeting him, but what he did really went overboard. Sumu looked down and said softly, I know. I won't get involved. She suddenly thought of something and looked at him, is this the task uncle gave you? He didn't tell her his identity because he was afraid that she would worry. He just reached out and stroked her hair. It's okay. I'll just be a little busy. Chapter 52-23. Updated quickly. In fact, Sumu knew that it would not only be busy, but also dangerous. She gently leaned on his shoulder and gently hugged his waist. Yi Xiangnan, we're married. He nodded and looked down at her. So? She said softly, so, don't let anything happen to you. He smiled, how could I? Then they didn't say anything more. They just watched TV like an old couple. After a long time, Sumu whispered, then let's hire an auntie. One is enough to clean the house. I'll cook for you and Cymbidium chinense when I'm free. He turned around and held her chin. Is it a confession, Mrs. Yi? No, don't raise the topic so easily. She said discontentedly, I'm just cooking. He said, oh, I see. Sumu had always been calm, but now she was a little angry. What else can it be? I always thought that your words more or less meant that you cared about me. He smiled and lowered his head. Yes or no? Sumu didn't want to answer him, let alone pay attention to him. CEO Yi said to himself, that's a tacit consent. Sumu said in a low voice, shameless. What are you talking about? He put on the posture of a superior. If she dared to say another word, he would definitely show his shamelessness to her. Sumu was also quite afraid of him. Yi Xiangnan was satisfied and patted her gently, good girl. Sumu felt a little disgusted. Master Yi was unhappy, can't you give me some face, Sumu? Other women want me to say this word, they must be crazy. Then why don't you go and find them? Sumu looked straight at the TV and said emotionlessly as if he had changed his courage. Yi Xiangnan's voice was threatening. Sumu. Stop talking. Let's watch TV. It's rare that we're all at home. She suddenly hugged his arm and rested her head on his shoulder, her hands still wrapped around his waist. Yi Xiangnan was a little stunned. Was this considered acting coquettishly? He thought that it should be. Anyway, he had never seen her like this. On the other hand, although Mr. Ching had undergone surgery, he still couldn't recuperate well. The situation was not good. Every day, his subordinates came in and out, causing the doctors and nurses here to tremble in fear. The hostility on Master Cheng's face increased day by day, and he almost went to talk to them personally. The subordinate whispered, "I heard that there's a special team that's targeting us." Master Cheng ground his white teeth. "Let's keep those things for now. Let's keep a low profile for now." He asked again, "Do you know who led the team?" His subordinate didn't dare to say anything, but Master Ching immediately got angry. "Son of a bitch, what's there that you don't dare to say? What can you do if you act like a woman?" The subordinate was slapped by him, and his ears were ringing. He covered his face and said in a low voice, "I heard that it's the one from the Yi family." Master Chang's eyes shone. "As expected, I used to think that he was really a pretty boy." "Good. He entered the special team at the age of 16. He's really a good man trained by the higher-ups." The subordinate asked carefully, "Can we offend him?" Master Ching slapped him again. "Are you stupid or what? If I can offend him, I will kill him first. Do you still need to come up with ideas here?" His subordinate was a little man, and he felt wronged. Chapter 52-24. However, Xiao Mao felt wronged, but he didn't dare to do anything to Master Ching, so he had to endure it. He didn't dare to say anything even though it hurt. At the door, Sister Hong stood there and sneered, "You don't have the ability to vent your anger on your subordinates. What's the difference between you and a woman?" "No, it's an insult to the word woman." When Master Ching saw Sister Hong, his eyes turned red. He couldn't wait to get up from the hospital bed and kiss her. Sister Hong threw a basket of fruits beside him. "You're not dead yet. It's good that you're not dead yet. You still have the strength to shout and hit people." Master Ching scratched his head and said, "I was in a hurry." He called Xiao Mao over. "Mao, come here." Xiao Mao immediately ran over with tears in his eyes. Master Ching. Seeing him like this, Master Ching was both angry and amused. He took out tens of thousands of yuan from the drawer. Go, buy some food. Don't tell anyone that I bullied you." Xiao Mao stared at the money and said in a low voice, "How would I dare to tell Master Ching?" Master Ching was quite satisfied. "Then tell that person, did I bully you?" "Absolutely not," Xiao Mao said softly, his eyes still staring at the money. Master Ching was very proud. "Then, Mao, is Master Ching good to you?" "Very good, Master Ching is the best man in the world." Xiao Mao flattered. Master Ching continued to ask, "Is Master Ching handsome? Is he manly? Is his body great?" "Master Ching is so handsome, Master Ching is the most manly, Master Cheng's body is great." Xiao Mao was willing to say anything now. Sister Hong felt that this pair had no bottom line. Didn't it feel a little weird to say something like that? Xiao Mao felt that Master Cheng's body was great. Sister Hong was speechless and signaled Xiao Mao to leave with her eyes. Xiao Mao took the money and went out. He even specially greeted Sister Hong. Sister Hong closed the door, leaving only her and Master Ching in the ward. She didn't look good, but Master Ching looked indifferent. "You look so calm, do you know what's going on outside?" Sister Hong said coldly. Master Ching picked his ears and pretended not to care. You're here to take care of me. Don't be like an old woman every day. Men hate this the most. Pursing her lips, Sister Hong said in a serious tone, I don't care what you think, but you should restrain yourself. You won't have a good ending if you continue like this. Master Ching wanted to touch his cigarette, but he stopped himself. Then, he sneered, at most, I'll find a woman to give me a seed. I won't be a man after 18 years. As he spoke, he stole a glance at Sister Hong and regretted it. What did he say? This woman couldn't give birth anymore. Master Ching was a little cautious, but Sister Hong didn't seem angry. She just leaned there and sneered, you were born without a father. Ching, you're really a scumbag. That fatty Zhang Fucai still knows how to raise a child. Why don't you know that? Master Ching was furious. Are you comparing me to that man? Humiliated you? Sister Hong asked coldly. What else do you have other than stinky money? Master Ching couldn't say anything for a long time. He was so angry that he didn't want to talk to her. Initially, he was quite happy that this woman came. Although she pretended to be unhappy, in his heart, he was happy. But she just didn't know how to argue with him and didn't say anything nice to make him happy. He was already so sick. Master Ching felt wronged. He lifted the blanket and covered his head, looking like he didn't want to talk to her. Chapter 52-25. Master Cheng's shameless behavior was really infuriating and funny at the same time. Sister Hong rolled her eyes and came over to pull the quilt. Ching, don't be shameless. Who are you to me? Why do you care? Master Ching was buried in the quilt. His mouth was actually wide open, but he was unwilling to admit it. He didn't want this woman to find out that he was happy. Sister Hong straightened her body and said calmly, I'll count to 3. If you don't get up, I won't care about you anymore. Master Ching immediately lifted the quilt, and then said happily, so you mean you're willing to go back with me and spend the rest of your life? It's the same if I go back with you. Sister Hong couldn't be bothered with him. She snorted and leaned against the wall behind her. I'm just reminding you to be careful not to play with fire. Don't think about anything else. When Master Ching heard that, he knew that it was hopeless. He then looked at her expression and felt that she was serious. He laid back down in embarrassment and gritted his teeth. I don't have anything to worry about in this world. It doesn't matter to me whether I die or not. I only have one life, so I can do whatever I want with it. Sister Hong frowned. Ching, are you crazy? She didn't want to talk to him anymore. I've already said it. It's up to you whether you want to listen or not. My life is also yours. Actually, it has nothing to do with me. Master Ching listened without saying a word. After Sister Hong finished her words, she turned around and left. When she reached the door, Master Ching changed his previous fierce style and said faintly, Did you really not feel sorry for me at all? Sister Hong paused for a moment before saying in a low voice, I quite care about betrayal, Ching. I thought you knew. Master Ching was instantly angered. His voice rose a lot. I saw that you were so open, so I thought you didn't care. How would I know that you couldn't let go of sleeping with a woman? As Master Ching said, his voice became a little softer. If I knew it would be like this, I wouldn't have slept with you no matter what. He narrowed his eyes. Wasn't it easy for him? After struggling for so long, wasn't it because she was angry? Sister Hong was still silent. After a while, she smiled. Perhaps. One look and it was obvious that she was really angry. Only then did Master Ching realize that he had said the wrong thing again. Wasn't this woman usually quite magnanimous? Why did he get angry just like that? Master Ching also wanted to be as unyielding as Sister Hong and ignore her. However, he didn't have a backbone. He felt wronged and jumped off the bed. He shamelessly grabbed Sister Hong's hand. I just said something wrong. Is there a need to take it to this extent? Master Ching said uncomfortably. Sister Hong looked at him and said softly, I didn't mean it that way, and I won't get angry with you. It's not worth it. Godfather Ching furrowed his brows. Woman, why are you like this? Nothing, goodbye. Sister Hong didn't want to be entangled with him and quickly broke free from his hand. Did Master Ching just watch as she left? Of course not. Who was Master Ching? Thus, he clutched his stomach and cried out in a mixture of real and fake voices, as though it was the real deal. Sister Hong frowned. Ching Ching, are you for real? Master Ching was still screaming with a pained look on his face. Sister Hong still helped him up. Being supported by her little hands, Master Ching felt his body lighten and he was extremely happy. However, he didn't dare to show an expression of enjoyment and pretended to be in pain. Sister Hong helped him to the bedside and pressed the bell. The nurse arrived immediately. Mr. Ching, what's wrong? Chapter 52-26. The nurses here loved and feared Master Ching. Master Chang's temper wasn't very good, but he liked to give money away. Which woman didn't like to be thrown money at? There were many people in the hospital, and everyone had a tacit understanding that they served Master Ching like a god. At this moment, God was screaming in pain, and the nurse immediately wanted to push him for a checkup. What was wrong with Master Ching? He still said, I need a massage. Can I borrow someone's hand? Sister Hong was used to knowing his character, so how could she not know? She sneered, can I borrow my little hand to help Master Ching massage it? Master Ching immediately revealed a satisfied expression and grinned, my woman knows me best. Sister Hong chuckled and gently helped him massage twice, is this better? Master Chang's face was full of enjoyment, the massage is good, better than the nurse. Why don't you stay here and take care of me? When I'm better, I'll thank you personally. The nurse pursed her lips and smiled. This lady was Master Chang's sweetheart. Master Chang's temper was so bad, but at this moment, she was as obedient as a kitten. Sister Hong sneered and reached out to press hard. Master Ching immediately screamed, Lu Hong, you woman. You're murdering your husband. After all, he was a patient who had just finished the surgery, and she really injured him. The white gauze was bloodshot, and it looked very scary. Master Ching raised his eyes and looked at Sister Hong innocently, will you help me to the emergency room? Sister Hong was also stunned, and after a long time, she muttered, I didn't do it on purpose. Take care of me here, or I'll go to court to sue you. The witness is here, and there are surveillance cameras, Master Ching said fiercely. Sister Hong was a little dumbfounded. In the end, she still helped the weak Master Ching to the emergency room. In fact, it was just a superficial wound, and it wasn't scary at all. He insisted on letting the doctor stay inside for 3 hours. Master Ching lay down and played with his phone, and the doctor was also helpless. After a while, Master Ching asked someone to go outside to see if his woman was still there. The doctor was also quite speechless, but Master Ching generously gave each of them a 100,000 yuan red packet. This kind of easy work was something that everyone was willing to do. Sister Hong stood guard outside for 3 hours. Master Ching was very satisfied. His woman still had him in her heart. When he was pushed out by the doctor, Master Chang's face was flushed with success. He didn't look like a patient at all. He looked more like a newbie. Sister Hong came over and asked softly, "How is it?" Master Chang smiled and said, "Don't worry, your man's body is very good, very good." After receiving the money, the doctor also talked nonsense with a straight face to fool Sister Hong. Sister Hong was worried and didn't leave. Master Chang was overjoyed. One moment, he ordered her to do this, and the next moment, he asked her to do that, as if this could prove that Sister Hong truly loved him. Sister Hong was also speechless and couldn't be bothered to correct him. Master Chang was extremely delighted. He felt as though he had reached the peak of his life. In the afternoon, little Mao came back with a message. Not good. At that time, Master Chang was eating an apple. When he heard this, his expression changed. Eating an apple was like eating Yi Xiangnan's meat. He narrowed his eyes. This gigolo was really ruthless. Half of his territory was actually taken away. Also, his goods were also messed up by Yi Xiangnan to Chi-Chi. His brothers no longer trusted him. Master Ching felt that he couldn't stay in this courtyard anymore, so he immediately wanted to get up. What kind of person was Sister Hong? She had already noticed that something was wrong. She said softly, "Qingjing, what are you doing?" Chapter 52-27. Master Ching smiled at her. "I have something to deal with, so I have to do that." Sister Hong's voice was cold. "Didn't you want to die just now, and now you can leave the hospital? Who are you trying to fool?" She looked at Xiao Mao. Xiao Mao didn't dare to look at Sister Hong in the eyes, feeling extremely guilty. Sister Hong had naturally heard the rumors outside, and she knew what Qingjing was going to do. Once he went, he probably wouldn't return, and there was someone waiting for him outside. Sister Hong looked at Qingjing and said softly, "Don't move here, I'm going out for a while." Master Ching frowned. What tricks is this woman up to? As they spoke, Sister Hong had already walked out. After a while, a few doctors came in. Master Ching covered his strong body, his face full of fear. "Lu Hong, don't you dare act recklessly. I'm telling you, if you dare to do anything to me, I won't let you off. I'm going to lock you up, I'm going to..." The doctor injected calmness into his muscles, and Master Chang's eyes slowly fell on Sister Hong's face. He spat out the last few words, "Kill you." Then, Master Ching fell asleep. He was as obedient as an old cow. Xiao Mao was so scared that he peed his pants. Sister-in-law was too amazing, she actually worked with the doctors to take down Master Ching. Would something happen to Master Ching? Should he tell his brothers? Xiao Mao panicked. Sister Hong glanced at him, waiting for the doctors to leave before scolding, "Why are you so anxious? He won't die." Xiao Mao's teeth were chattering. When Master Ching wakes up, he will whip people with his belt. This lady had never been whipped before, so she didn't know what it felt like. Sister Hong chuckled. "Since he will whip people, why don't we kill him now?" Xiao Mao's face was full of fear. Master Ching said that women were scary, and it seemed like it was true. Sister Hong didn't want to waste words with him, so she said indifferently, "If you let him go out now, he'll die. Let's wait for him to calm down first." Xiao Mao, everyone knows that the arm can't twist the leg. If he dares to touch Yi Xiangnan, not only him, but the whole of you will be stewed, right? Xiao Mao knew this, but he still carefully said, "Desaw, we all know this, but we are brothers, so we must have some loyalty." Is loyalty more important, face more important, or your life more important? Sister Hong said softly, "Don't you have anyone who cares about you? Do you think that dying like that is glorious?" Xiao Mao was somewhat moved. After a while, he said, "Sister-in-law, you are really loyal. Master Ching used to say that you liked him, that you loved him to death. I didn't believe it at first, but now I do." Sister Hong simply couldn't believe what she had just heard. She asked Xiao Mao to repeat it. Xiao Mao swallowed his saliva and repeated himself. Sister Hong was simply furious. How dare he? He's obviously the one who's pestering me. Oh, then don't worry about Master Ching. Let him die. No one cares about him anyway. Xiao Mao's face was full of depression. Sister Hong was stunned for a moment, then she picked up Xiao Mao's ear. "Little brat, you're trying to set me up, aren't you? Do you think I'll fall for it? Do you think I'll care about this bastard?" Xiao Mao was in pain, but he smiled. "Of course I don't care. It hurts, it hurts. Sister-in-law, please let me go." Sister Hong put him down and said coldly, "If you say something like this again in the future, be careful that I'll skin you alive." Xiao Mao mumbled into his ear and laughed. "Sister-in-law, your current aura is similar to Master Chang's. Isn't it what they say in the books, he who keeps company with ink is stained black?" Chapter 52-28. Sister Hong wanted to twist his head again. Xiao Mao's wailing sounded both real and fake. It sounded more like Master Ching. Sister Hong thought absent-mindedly that Xiao Mao was actually quite cute. The two of them quieted down, and Xiao Mao asked softly, "Sister-in-law, you actually like Master Ching, right?" Sister Hong sneered, "What's there to like about a pig like him? I'm just doing my duty for the sake of money." Xiao Mao touched his nose, "But I still think that sister-in-law has feelings for Master Ching." Sister Hong gave him a warning look, and Xiao Mao didn't dare to say anything else. After a while, Sister Hong said faintly, "He can only be considered to be alive after he gets through this." Sister Hong was a little annoyed. "He doesn't care about himself, why should I be in a hurry?" Xiao Mao said, "Sister Hong, you can't ignore Master Ching. Although he doesn't say it, he actually misses you very much. I've been with him for a long time, but I've never seen him care about any woman. In fact, he only cares about Miss Su, or Mrs. Yi, but it's just gratitude when he was young. Mrs. Yi raised Master Ching for several years when he was young, and Master Ching has always remembered this kindness. Master Ching actually knows who has been good to him." Xiao Mao said again, "Those women outside are just playful, and Master Ching doesn't care about the women in the villa. Ever since he had sister-in-law, Master Ching doesn't even look at them." Sister Hong smiled, "Just sleep, right?" Xiao Mao opened his mouth, but he couldn't say a word. Damn it, sister-in-law was right. However, Master Ching was also angry, and when he woke up the next day, he was so scared that he wet his pants. He pulled down his face and shamelessly begged Sister Hong, but Sister Hong didn't forgive him. Sister-in-law is really tough. Xiao Mao went to sit on a chair and quietly watched over Master Ching. Sister Hong saw that his eyes were red like a little wife, and she really couldn't bear to see him like that. Sister Hong rolled her eyes. Okay, what are you crying for? You're a man, but you're crying like a girl." Xiao Mao shouted, "I'm not even as good as a girl." Sister Hong found it funny and grabbed him. "Go and rest, I'll keep an eye on him for you." Xiao Mao looked at her suspiciously. "Really? I thought you didn't like Master Ching." Sister Hong wanted to tear his mouth apart. She said coldly, "Xiao Mao, don't you think you talk too much?" Xiao Mao scratched his head. "Master Ching also said the same thing about me." He immediately ran out to give his sister-in-law some space. Xiao Mao happily thought at the door that when Master Ching woke up and saw his sister-in-law, he would definitely be very happy. Sister Hong looked at the closed door and sat down. She didn't stay idle and started writing in her notebook. Although the news agency was under her name, she still wrote some reviews. Her writing style was very experienced, and her comments were on point. Half of the reason The Sun was selling well was because of Sister Hong. At around 5:00 in the afternoon, Master Ching woke up. Her tall and sturdy body moved as Sister Hong closed her notebook. "You're awake." Master Ching moved his head and narrowed his eyes. "How did I fall asleep?" After a few more seconds, he remembered what had happened before. He glared at her angrily, wishing he could bite Sister Hong. Women shouldn't meddle in men's affairs. Master Ching got out of bed and was about to put on his clothes and go out. Sister Hong looked at him quietly. "If you have the ability to walk out of here, don't look for me in the future." When she said this, her eyes were slightly red. Master Ching stared at her eyes and pinched his leg to prove that it wasn't a dream. This woman was really sad for him. Chapter 52-29. Updated quickly, Master Cheng's heart was suddenly filled with passion. He grabbed his hair and said, "I didn't do anything to you. Why are you crying?" "When did I cry?" Sister Hong bit her lip. "You're thinking too much." Master Ching was still staring at her blankly. After a while, he smiled. "And you said you didn't cry." He walked over and held her face, carefully wiping away the tears at the corners of her eyes as he said, "Isn't it just because I can't bear to part with that pretty boy, Yi Xiannan? I'm not going to cause trouble for him. Not only that, I'm even giving him money. Are you happy? Isn't your man very generous?" Sister Hong was angry and amused at the same time. "You obviously wanted to bribe him. It has nothing to do with being generous." Master Ching smiled. "Then is your man capable?" Sister Hong pursed her lips and said slowly, "How can you still smile when it's so chaotic outside?" "That's why I said your man is capable," Master Ching said proudly. Then, he laid down on the bed. "Help me wipe my body. I smell like medicine. It's quite uncomfortable." He was actually just teasing her. Who knew that Sister Hong would really go to get some water and help him wipe his body? When she was wiping his body, Master Cheng's eyes were bloodshot. He looked at her as if he was spitting fire. This was the first time he felt that a woman was willing to follow him regardless of everything. It wasn't because he was the rich and powerful Master Ching, but because he was a man. Suddenly, Master Ching grabbed her hand. "Come with me." This sentence was different from the previous one where she lived together and played with him. She was officially Master Cheng's woman. She could be considered a permanent woman. Sister Hong's hand paused. Then, she said softly, "Marriage." Master Ching scratched his head. "We're all children of the pugilistic world. Why bother with the trivial matters? Don't find excuses for your scum." Sister Hong didn't buy it. "I'll leave when you're discharged. Also, the situation outside is tense. You should close your business. Don't live on the edge all day. There are many children like Xiao Mao. Are they all going to die with you? Can you bear to do that?" "I can't bear to part with you either." Master Ching acted like a spoiled puppy. He rested his head on Sister Hong's shoulder and refused to move away. His rascally behavior was quite impressive. Sister Hong didn't feel sorry for him. She slapped him to the side and said, "Go away. If you want to get tired of me, go find your woman." If Master Ching was thin-skinned, he wouldn't be Master Ching. He would continue to pester her and praise her in all kinds of ways. Sister Hong really couldn't do anything about him, so she found an opportunity to go to the bathroom. Master Ching was like a child hiding under the quilt. He wanted to scare her later. Master Ching heard footsteps and faintly smelled a woman's fragrance. He also felt a hand tugging at his quilt. He immediately got up and hugged her. "Let me see where you can run to now. Let me kiss you and hug you." He was about to kiss her, but in the next second, Master Ching let go of the woman as if he had seen a ghost. It was not Lu Hong, but Su Jian. When did this woman come in? Master Ching suddenly looked like a little white flower. He clutched his clothes tightly and slowly looked in the direction of the washroom. Sister Hong leaned there and quietly watched the show. Master Ching squeezed out a smile. "I'm innocent." Sister Hong smiled. "I don't know if you're innocent or not, but you're quite compatible. You guys can continue." You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.